Hello, atheists! So, I want to go through a previous video, a comment someone made, mainly because I have no way of knowing how many atheists would actually hear this comment, see this comment, and actually agree with it. The reason I would think that this person may not be a troll is because I've actually heard atheists say things that are really this dumb. Atheists, they spread hate to each other. I'm talking about the atheist speakers out there, the atheist programs out there. They talk about hate to religion, hate to God, how ridiculous the God thing is, and there's just an endless amount of hate being passed around through the atheist world that, and no one's correcting the things that are actually wrong. And the atheists themselves, they're on there saying, well, religion isn't really that bad, it's not that extreme, it's not this. They'll use their critical thinking to hate on religion as much as possible and go through every detail thing in the Bible and say this, how, look how horrible and awful this is, and they like to claim we are the people of critical thinking as if no one else has critical thinking. And meanwhile, when it comes to this hate to the religion, their critical thinking goes out the window, and they don't actually think when they hear a fellow atheist saying something that's outright wrong to actually use their critical thinking and think like, it's not really that. That's actually maybe not true. Maybe we should be analyzing this more. Whatever it is. I don't see atheists doing this, and I don't see anyone calling atheists out on this. Which is why part of the reason I made this channel, because I from the beginning I really had to think, do I really want a YouTube channel? I don't think I want a YouTube channel, but I see no one doing this. Someone I think has to do this, so that's why I have my YouTube channel. But anyhow, let's go to this comment. This, as I said, this is something that I think only exists either because the person's a troll or because they're influenced from atheists with all their hate and all these things. And I just want to say something someone else said from the Atheist Experience, one of the hosts from the Atheist Experience. They said this thing, and this is just to show, like, someone saying something as dumb as the comment is, can be influenced by these outspoken atheists, these influential atheists out there, when they're saying these really dumb things, and no one's arguing with them. So if everyone's saying really dumb things and no one's arguing with the dumb things that are being said, everyone's likely to agree with them, then you're going to have a bunch of people just saying a bunch of really dumb things with no one calling them out on it. So I want to call as much as I can out. So for example, the Atheist Experience, they said they were hating on charity. They outright said that religion thinks they own charities, that they don't help you unless you're a believer of Christ or whatever it is. I myself, I went to get help from a church a couple times, and never did they ask me my religion. They never asked me anything. They didn't check my religion. They didn't do that, and they didn't turn me away. They actually helped me. So I'm not sure all the churches. I couldn't speak for all the churches, but let's say there is a church that does check your religion. They do check that you are a faith, that you do believe in Christ, that you do follow Christ, and then they'll help you then. So what? Why are you hating on them for that? They are volunteering their time to actually help people. They don't have to do this. They're doing whatever they can to help people. They want to help. You're telling me that people should have to be forced, or they have to, in order to help people, they have to help all the people you think they should have to help? The response to religious people, only helping religious people, if you're a secular, you're an atheist, if you're not for that, to just do it yourself. Try finding the same way the religious people are doing it, you do it yourself, and just, that's it. You're all helping people, and be part of the world where you're actually thinking, we want to help people, we're helping our people, they're helping their people, and it's a wonderful thing. That is a much better message to be telling atheists than what they think they own charities. They think like this is like insanely ridiculous. This is so dumb, and there's no one there telling them this is really dumb. What are you talking about? What is wrong with this? So they only help religious people. And this is something that was really said in the Atheist Experience. I'm gonna get through other stuff. I'll actually play recordings, so you don't just think I'm making this stuff up, of things that are actually said from other atheists or the Atheist Experience. I'm gonna play the recording so you'll hear it, not now, but in the future. Stay tuned for those videos. And let's get to this comment right here. It says, but if they use God to do good, then that means that it wasn't good. Either they feared being punished forever, or they were hoping for an eternal reward. It degrades morality. There's nothing about this that's actually true. Nothing there is accurate in any way. The only reason a person would say something like this is because they're either influenced by atheists to actually think anything that has to do with God is immoral and bad, because that's what atheists spout out. That's the things atheists will generally say. Okay, let me just get this out of the way, because when people tell me things, they comment things, it's likely to get in my head, and being that there's no way of me knowing what atheists generally will think or not, I feel I have to say it. So someone made a comment, what I'm talking about is anti-theists, not atheists, the people I'm talking about, and I'm calling them atheists. The problem is there's no distinction between atheists and anti-theists, mainly because all atheist programs, all outspoken atheists are anti-theist. Like when they speak, the things they're saying, they're actually anti-theist. So I think maybe it's more fair to say that atheists in general are anti-theists. And then there's another group of people who are not anti-theists who are atheists. That other group, I don't know where they are. I don't see them anywhere. Anyhow, so, but if they use God to do good, then that means that it wasn't good. That's just not true. Things are good on their own merits. If I give charity to somebody voluntarily, no one's putting a gun to my head. If someone's putting a gun to my head to give charity, then the act of giving charity, I guess, is still good. But there was a gun to my head. I was forced. Whatever. That's a more messy situation. Voluntarily doing something good is good, no matter what the reason is. If your reason is because of your belief, having a belief in something isn't a force. There's no force because of your belief that now you're being forced to do something because of your belief. People aren't pressuring you generally to do good things in a way that like you have to do it. Usually in most of the cases it's a choice, a free choice. You choosing to do on your own, and the reason behind it doesn't really matter usually most of the times. Anyhow, so I think the next thing is they're trying to justify their first thing, which makes no sense. Either they feared being punished forever, or they're hoping for an eternal reward. It degrades morality. So let's say I replace the sentence here, the first sentence. But if they use God, let's say I replace God with boss or parent. But if they use a parent to do good, then that means that it wasn't good, because they're doing the good thing they're doing because they know they're gonna get a reward from their parent, or their parent are gonna be proud of them, or whatever it is, and they're not doing the bad things because they don't want to get punished. Is that now? This is literally how parents are supposed to be. If the parents aren't doing this, they're not being a parent. They're failing as a parent. If they're not rewarding their kids, or at least being proud of their kids, which is a reward in itself to a child, the child feeling the parent is proud of them, that's a reward in itself for a child. So if they're not making if the child's not feeling reward from their parent for doing good, the parent is failing. And if the child isn't getting punished for doing bad, then the parent is failing as well. Same with a boss. A boss cannot be a good boss. They cannot actually run a business properly if the workers don't actually feel like they can do their job right. If they feel like they can get away with doing everything and do their job bad, chances are they will do their job bad unless they have an incentive to not do their job bad, meaning if the incentive would be being fired. So the whole thing here is really basically, and you want to do your job better because you have an incentive because you'll get a raise. So the whole thing is basically the incentives for doing good and not doing bad are immoral because it's God. I mean, that's really the only logical conclusion I can think of why a person would say such a thing, is because God is such an immoral figure, such an immoral character, that if it has to do with God, it cannot be moral. Maybe the person's trolling me. Maybe there are other you atheists out there who would actually think along the same lines. That's the reason I'm making this video. So if there are you atheists out there that would think along the same lines, this is where that's wrong. I want to correct it for you. Anyhow, all the best, and thanks for watching.